Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. It is Christmas 3 for 3 week. I am here with another interview. Hooray for Christmas.
Yay.
Yay! And as you can hear, I have a very special guest. It's actually his first time here on the show compared to the rest of the abridgers that we've talked to. He's sort of a new face. We hope you'll all make him feel welcome. It is Who are you?
That's a good question. And since I'm pretty sure no one knows who I am. So hi, I go by TehExorcist on the internet. And I am this person that does this thing with Team 4 Star. And if you're here, you probably know who Team 4 Star is. So yeah, that's about it.
Now, I actually remember catching some of your stuff way back when abridging first got started. Don't
Way back
sigh.
when.
And it's like I was talking to Megami yesterday, sort of like for me the first like generation of abridgers is Little Karibo, Moscow X, Lanny Pator, HBI 2K, and Megami. Those are sort of the first ones that I encountered all within about a week of each other.
Yeah.
And then anything after that, I sort of consider the second generation stuff like Takahata's G Gundam and Kaiser's, Lupin the Third. Um,
I
uh,
think I think I got caught up in that wave because I remember I started like like a week or two after Taka did.
yeah, I would definitely put you sort of in the second wave, and sort of the second wave is also when sort of like the abridging analyzers came to the mix, stuff like Nathan Graves
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Cassius, and I would just watch their stuff. It's like,
Oh,
well,
I haven't heard those names in a long time.
I know
Oh,
it's
jeez.
crazy to this. I almost forgot about them until I was like looking at my Twitter as like people you might want to follow. It's like Nathan Graves, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't thought about Nathan Graves in years. And
He still does interviews apparently.
it was just one of those things where I already had like the set list of abridged series that I did watch because at the time the amount of anime series that I had actually seen was very little, so the amount of abridged series that I was interested in was
Well,
also very little.
you don't have to have seen the anime to watch the abridged series.
It's true, and there are a lot of series that I hadn't even like I'd never even heard of Berserk, but I still watched all of Berserker Bridge before.
That's actually the same with me. Yeah.
And it's just sort of a credit to people who can do an abridged series really well, where you can watch their thing first before the original source material, and it's like, yeah, this is good enough to make me want to watch 25 whole episodes of gore, gore, blood, gore, and more blood and gore.
Oh, that show.
Oh, Berserk, we love you and your gratuitous bloody violence.
Yeah.
But sort of, way back when, you did a fairly decent D. Grayman abridged.
As fairly decent is by today's standards that's cutting it. But yeah, I think it was 2007, late 2007, early 2008 I started G Grayman Abridged as my first abridged series. And I did that for a couple of years, and by a couple of years I mean I made 7 episodes.
And I'm not gonna lie, one of the biggest reasons that your D. Grayman abridged series caught my eye is because out of the four openings you could have used as your abridged opening, you picked the best one.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I actually used the very first opening I actually used two openings. And I used two different openings credits from the G Raymond series, but the one I stuck with was I hope that's the one you're referring to.
Yeah, Gekido. I love Gekido.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Overworld is probably like one of my top three uh, Japanese bands. It's weird. Like a few years ago, back when I was in high school, I sort of realized that I didn't really care for the American music industry anymore.
Who needs to understand lyrics anyways?
Exactly. As long as it sounds good, then that's what I want to listen to. And like the first band that wasn't related to Naruto that I had heard a song by was Overworld, and it was Colors of the Heart. I'm like, oh, I really like the
Huh?
way this band sounds. What other stuff do they do? And it's like, okay, they do an opening for this show called D. Gray Man. I'll eventually go watch D. Gray Man. And they do the opening for Blood Plus. I'll go watch Blood Plus. And they do
Yeah.
that Bleach opening that everybody likes.
Yeah, see, that's the
Go
one that
watch
caught my
Bleach.
eye. Techno Life or whatever.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that where I sort of bounced around. That was how I picked and chose what series I wanted to watch between, getting into a bridge series at the time and just what music sounded good because that was sort of introducing me into not only new anime, but stuff like D. Gray Man, where they have four different openings. You see who does the other openings, and it's like, okay, well, what other stuff does Abingdon Boys School do an opening for? Oh, they've got Sengoku Basara, and they've got Darker Than Black, and they've got this and
Yes.
that, and it's it's just sort of a different experience than just I think growing up naturally and watching stuff on Toonami because I sort of skipped the whole first wave of Toonami. I
Really?
I came in like sort of the end of Toonami's lifespan originally back when the only thing on
Uh,
Toonami was like Naruto and after that everything was just sort of relegated to Adult Swim on
yeah.
the weekends. So I missed on their like original runs. I never saw Yu Yu Hakusho, I never saw Cowboy Bebop, and never saw Tribe.
I was so sad when Yu Yu Hakusho just like disappeared for no reason.
Well, it was really weird because my only experience that I'd had with Toonami before actually actively trying to watch anime was I would go over one friend's house. It was this was back when like I went to church and everything, so I
Uh,
had like one friend that I met at church because we were the same age, and I would go over to his house. We'd play like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff.
nice.
Play
Because that's what you do when you're kids.
yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, Final Fantasy, and then when Toonami would come on, he would be super into it because it was the stuff that he was watching on a constant basis. So the only thing that I can remember ever seeing is like maybe the same episode of Yu Yu Hakusho every time, coincidentally, and it's one of those first 12 where Yusuke's still dead and nothing's actually happening, and it's really, really
The
boring.
unfortunate, very slow, bad beginning of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate because Yu Yu Hakusho is a fantastic series, and you just
Well, it has a fantastic part of it, which is Dark Tournament. Everything else is kind of beginning's kind of Sensu is all
I
right.
I enjoyed the Sensui arc.
I enjoyed it, but like coming right out of Dark Tournament, it's like, oh,
Yeah, I just
this
think it's funny that Yu Yu Hakusho has the formula where it's plot, tournament, here's a plot arc, some more tournament, another plot arc, and then we wrap it up with the tournament.
yep.
So it's just interesting, but because I did enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho so much, I am now completely obsessed with Hunter x Hunter. Uh, ever
See, I
since,
was never a Hunter x Hunter fan because like the main reason I liked all the main characters, like Yu Yu Hakusho, because all the main characters, especially like Yusuke and Kubara and like Hiei, like all of them, and Kurama. But like
yeah,
Hunter x Hunter was like it was like, oh, these kids on adventures. I'm like, I don't really care about little kids.
yeah, I can definitely understand that, but I feel like, especially with the beginning, it's a lot better paced
Yeah.
than Yu Yu Hakusho was, and there's a scene, and I think it's episode like 10, where after the scene ends, I realized that I'd been holding my breath for about a full 30 seconds. So I'm like, oh, I haven't done this since like Dragon Ball Z as a kid, so I'm gonna keep watching this. The only complaint I really have about Hunter x Hunter is that it has two filler episodes, one in episode 13 and one in episode 26, so just skip those.
Oh, okay.
But it's definitely really good. I've been reading the manga,
Wait,
and
the new series or the old series has?
the new remake series that Madhouse has been producing since
Okay.
2011.
Okay.
It, it's definitely worth watching. I hear that the old version had a lot of like filler padding, and they don't actually even make it past the Greed Island arc, which is like the third arc into the series. So,
Goodness. Well, if I have time, which I don't have a lot of, I will check it out maybe.
well, yeah, because you're still in high school. What, if
No,
you don't mind me?
I'm actually in college.
Oh, okay, so,
Well,
um,
I've been in college for a while actually, but
but
yeah.
yeah, that sort of makes you, I think, younger than the rest of the whole abridging crew. So if
Oh,
if we just think
well,
back, you started doing this at a really, young age. You've had a lot of time to get experience with it.
see. experiences. Okay, I don't know what to call it, but yeah, I've been doing this since I was, I believe, 14,
Wow.
and yeah, everyone else was like in like their early 20s or late teens, and I was just 14, and I sound the same I do now. But but yeah, now I'm only 20, and surprisingly, everyone else has aged along at the same rate. So everyone's in like their mid 20s or like 30s almost, and yeah, and I'm a full time university student, and I go to video game school.
Woo.
So yeah, I'm going to school for video games, and it's really busy because I've papers to write about video games and video games to play, and then write papers about those video games, and then making games, and programming sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll all be worth it eventually. But I'm curious, since you
Yeah.
started at a younger age than most of the Abridging crew, what sort of programs did you use to get started with it?
Let's see. From the very, very beginning, I actually never touched Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, see, that's my
I
problem
was
because
just,
I did touch Windows Movie Maker.
oh, that's disgusting.
I know it's really bad, but it's sort of the same thing. Like my default music player is Windows Media Player, and just because I've sort of conditioned myself to use these programs, I'm really good at using them. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think I could probably do something better as an experienced Windows Movie Maker person than maybe somebody who's like just starting out. Is like, how do I do all this stuff with Sony Vegas? I'm so confused.
Yeah, that was my experience. Actually, yeah, I did start off with Sony Vegas right at the get-go, but I wasn't good at it, and my editing wasn't good, and you can actually see it get better as the episodes went along, as I learned the program. But yeah, it wasn't too difficult. I mean, yeah, I was young, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't too hard to learn all of it.
Yeah, like especially for our generation, technology is easy sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it depends on the day and the program, and just stuff like that. Starting out, yeah, this is just sort of an offhand question that really matters to me. Where did the H&R Block joke come from?
I hate that joke. Uh, um, God, no one's gonna know what I'm talking about. Let's see. So in episode 2 of D Gray Man Abridged, I needed something for the scientists just to be randomly talking about, and before Alan shows up.
Yeah.
So I just did like, oh, like I remember this H&R Block commercial was funny about how like, oh, they have people, and that's a really old commercial. Oh my god. But so I did that, and then I was afraid for some reason I wanted people to know that I was talking about H&R Block. So I had the feeling that people just wouldn't get it. So then I just snuck in a quick H&R Block right after they were done talking, and apparently people loved it. So I just like in the comments, like when I was still paying attention to like the reception and whatever, I was like, okay, I guess people like it, and I just made it a running joke, and yeah, that happened.
It's just one of those things where it's like a completely random joke choice. Like I'm sure
Oh,
everybody
I had plenty of those.
and
Oh god.
like everybody who's done a bridge series at one point is like, I'll just do this thing. It's only kind of funny to me, but maybe it'll catch on, or something that just catches on by accident that you weren't even trying. It's like, oh, I guess I have to use this every
Yes,
time
that's
now.
the thing.
I guess
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah, you can't really predict what gets popular
It's
most of
like,
the time.
H&R Block, it's so hilarious.
I still get messages every now and then where it's like, "Hey, I passed by an H&R Block the other day, and I start cracking up." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
It's just one of those weird things that it doesn't make sense. It's just funny for no reason, which I guess that happens sometimes.
That happened. That's a lot. That's what I was going for a lot in D Gray Man for the like the beginning, middle portions of it. I realized that in the last episode I made, the latest, like latest episode, as in like the episode I made like 2-3 years ago, I finally was like, hey, maybe I should put some plot to this.
Yeah,
And they did.
maybe we'll go with plot. Yeah, plot.
Because randomness just became like the thing everybody did after like a little bit. So
Yeah,
now everyone's just doing random humor. I'm like, oh, okay, some of them aren't doing it well, but all right.
yeah. Dick Rayman is actually one of those really unfortunate series where I don't know what's happening with the dub, so I've never actually finished Dick Rayman, and
Man, D.
I'm
Grayman, odd, ironically enough, D. Grayman as a property in itself is like cursed
yeah,
because let's see, the anime like got cut short. The anime, like the dub, like couldn't get fully licensed, and the manga just like stopped like multiple times, and the abridged series doesn't go anymore.
it's just really weird
Yeah.
because it's I think it's Dentsu that does like the publishing for it, and they've kind of stopped talking about the dub production. So
I believe what I heard on the internet was that like they're just offering like they're offering the D Grayman rights at like outrageous prices or something
hmm.
for Funimation to pick up. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just really tough, and I think all of the parts that had been released are on like super cheap sales now,
Yeah,
just
support the
because.
official release. The Funimation Save Edition is only like I think $20 for per season,
Yeah, I
so you can
think
get like yeah
I've got.
50 some episodes for $40.
I think I have a random part that's signed by somebody. I forget who, or maybe I was able to sell that on eBay for some extra money. I don't know. I think
I still have all four like season one, season one, part two, and like all those, and like I have one signed by Todd Haberkorn and like one signed by like Lucy Christian.
yeah, I think that was the one that I had. I had one signed by Todd Haberkorn, and I sold it on eBay.
Where he doesn't go to any cons ever.
It was
Forever.
it was back in 2010. He actually came over to my hometown convention, so that was pretty cool. Nice chance to meet the Habercorn. He was at Yomicon. What do you mean he doesn't go to conventions? He was at the convention that you and I
That
were
was
both just at.
sarcasm. It happens a lot with me.
He has his own
No,
convention now.
I'm pretty sure out of all the cons I've been to, which is a lot, Todd Habercorn's been at least half of them.
Yeah,
At least.
it's weird to see which people go to which conventions, how often. And I've actually only seen Todd at 2 conventions, but I think in total I've only ever gone to like 6, so that's my fault, not his. But speaking of Yomicon, you were there,
Yep.
and I was there.
Yeah.
And we had a fun time.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah, it was great. I flew all the way from Seattle, the West Coast, all the way to Detroit just for Yomicon and the Team 4-Star stuff.
Yeah, and Yomicon was actually pretty big because you guys showed off the premiere of the big thing that you've been working on lately, which is the Attack on Titan abridged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a thing I made. What can I say about it?
You can say that it hit 2 million views.
Yeah. It just like I think it was like last week. It hit 2 million views. Who would have thought that an abridged series of a very, very popular anime would be doing well?
No way.
But yeah, I was like super excited to premiere it, and like if it wasn't for like Attack on Titan, I wouldn't have like that the abridged episode. I probably wouldn't have been able to make it or been as motivated to make it to Yomicon. And if it wasn't for Yomicon, I probably wouldn't have been as motivated to finish the episode. So, no, yeah, it was really good. I was super excited to show it off, and it was kept under wraps for like months, and I really wanted to talk about it, but I couldn't. But we showed it off at the panel, and
even I didn't know about it until like Taka whispered it to me Friday night in the green. It was like, "We've got Attack on Titan abridged to premiere this weekend." I go, "Oh."
Yeah, that Friday when it's unfortunate when because I had to premiere Attack on Titan after we already had a panel, so we had our 18 plus panel. I'm just like, yeah, what if you like these characters did these wacky things? I'm just like, I can't do any Attack on Titan things because they don't know yet.
I can't make jokes. I can't make jokes. They don't know yet.
Well, there were still plenty of jokes like I made about me only playing nameless extras in all other Team 4-star productions. But
which is still a potential thing.
Yeah.
It's always good to be a nameless extra.
Yeah, dying is a thing that happens a lot in Dragon Ball Z and Hellsing.
But now, how long were you working on Attack on Titan before Youmacon actually
how long was it? I believe Taka approached me about working on it during like midsummer, I think. So it was around July, August, I think. And we started, the scripting process took forever because we had to establish like what we're going to do with what character, how we're going to condense like 5 episodes into one. Because that was one thing one of the first things we decided on was that we were going to end the first episode with spoilers, Eren getting eaten. And so we're trying to see like what do we keep, how are we going to pace this, like what are we going to do with which character. So it's like there's a lot of groundwork that we had to do, and so that took a while. And scripting process, the script wasn't actually completely done until like I want to say like October. And at that point, I didn't have much time to edit, and I had started going to video game school, and it was really busy, and I had midterms, and I had like final projects, and like it was rough. So I used all the spare time I could to edit. I believe Taka talked about this during his interview a couple days ago, but he goes by Shinigami Eater. He did some of the secondary editing, and without him, I'd give him a lot of credit because without him, it probably wouldn't have gotten done on time. And he also was the voice of Kana, who seemed to be one of the fan favorites.
Yeah, so, it's tough for me as somebody who really liked Attack on Titan Abridged because I've only seen like 9 episodes of Attack on Titan, and I only.
Well, that's all you need for the first episode.
It's true. It's like as long as you've seen the first couple episodes of Titan, you can go watch Titan Abridged, or even less than that if you just want to go watch Attack on Titan Abridged. But
you'd be surprised by how many people have not seen Attack on Titan that watched the abridged version. Because I thought all the people that are watching Attack on Titan abridged were just people who liked Attack on Titan, but there were so many people who were just like, wait, does he actually die? Or like, what is this show called? It's like, wow, thanks to Team 4-star, I started watching Attack on Titan. I'm like, okay, I guess it's not as popular as I thought, but all right, cool.
Yeah, I'm just a bad person because I'll start something, get a couple episodes in, and then months will go by and I haven't actually finished a few dozen series. So it's like I'm on episode 4 of Kill la Kill, and I think that's at like 13 or 12 or 13 this week, and it's like I should really just sit down and get caught up, but the only series that I'm ever actually caught up on is Hunter x Hunter because I really, really like that one. So I go out of my way to stay up to date with it. But it's just one of those things where I like the series, and I really enjoyed Abridged episode 1. I know the names of maybe 4 characters tops.
Well, a lot of them die, so maybe you don't need to know.
It's true. I have been told that a lot of people die, and not the ones that I like, but I hear that a lot of it is like, don't get attached to this character because they just die.
Well, I mean, it's not like Game of Thrones-y level of everybody dies, but just if they're just introduced like later in the series, don't get attached to them.
But it's just stuff like, I'm lucky I know who Kana is. It's like that level of, it's like, oh man, I really don't know any of these people. Let me think. I know the main 3 because they're the main 3. I know Levi because he's my favorite. I know Jean because he's a prick. And I know Sasha because she's Potato Girl. And that's about the extent of my character knowledge for Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's pretty much all the people who matter so far.
And it's just stuff like that where I like go through, like I'll actually read the description for the episode because I actually read video descriptions on YouTube, and I'll look at.
You're one of the few.
And I'll look at like the cast list, and I go, "Oh, cool! This guy voiced this character. don't know who that character is. I have no idea this. I've never heard of this person before. They did a good job, I'm sure, but I don't know what character they voiced.
A prime example is probably Antfish as Commander Shadis. People loved him, and
I I
they
really
didn't even call him by name. Like I actually didn't even know that character's name as we were writing. I'm just like, okay, Drill Sergeant will say this, and
yeah,
then everyone just like, oh, Drill Sergeant's hilarious, and then like a bunch of people like actually referred to him by his name. I'm just like, wow, that
yeah.
character's getting a lot more attention.
I really like that character too. Amfish did a really good job. We'll have to.
Yeah, dude, he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think we talk to him next Friday, so we will have to talk to him about that. It was everybody did a really good job. It's tough starting the first episode of something and trying to decide, okay, I want this character to have this personality and this voice, and this character to have that personality and that voice, and
Yeah.
what will fit and what will be the best as we go past just this first episode because we want it to be more than just a one shot.
Yeah. Taka actually, when he approached me for Attack on Titan, he said he wanted to do the series. He wanted me to be the editor, and he wanted me to play Aaron. So right off the bat, like Taka was like pretty much a showrunner, but when he approached me, he offered me the role of Aaron because he felt like I would do it well.
Yeah.
So, like yeah, I mean that's kind of as much as I would love to play Levi, I can't. So
Oh darn. But you do a really nice Levi cosplay.
yeah, thanks. That exploded on Tumblr for a little bit.
It's just one of those things where like what other kind of cosplays do you do?
Well, I didn't actually get too much into cosplay until probably around last year.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Well, I've done a couple League of Legends cosplays. Like I did Ezreal, TPA Ezreal at PAX,
Yep.
which is awesome because all the writers just give you free stuff.
It's true. It's like, oh, you're a League of Legends character. Have a thing.
Pretty much. It
Here's a
was like
code.
there are just like crowds of summoners just like answering trivia questions for stuff, and then I walk by like, oh hey Ezreal, take this. I'm like, okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, pretty much. None of them handed me a map because
Well, who needs a
anyways.
map? It's all skill.
League of Legends jokes. All right. Yeah, but what else have I done? I had Levi. I did this summer, like summer 2013 was like mainstream anime cosplay for me because I did Levi a bunch of times and I also did a free cosplay.
Oh, that's right. You did do the free.
Yeah, I did oddly enough I did Nagisa, the Shota, the blonde-haired pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see me go from Levi to that, but I
I
don't
think it'd
know.
be
People
interesting to
said
see anybody go from Levi to Nagisa.
but it's funny. It's funny though, because my friends were just like, "Hey, we need a Nagisa for this cosplay group. Howard, you do it." My name's Howard, by the way. That's my real name. But so they're like, "Hey, you do it." I'm just like, why? Because like you're the shortest. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm the shortest." And it's like, "And you're the cutest." I'm like, "Well, okay."
You've got me there.
I'm like, if you say so. So I don't know. But then I looked more into the character, and it was like, okay, he's the youngest out of all of them. Okay, I'm the youngest. His stroke, his animal, his like symbolic animal. Like all the main characters have like an animal represented, like that represents them.
Right.
And his animal is a penguin. I'm like, okay, my favorite animal is a penguin. All right, that works. And like the stroke he swims, his main stroke is breaststroke. I'm like, well, breaststroke was my main stroke when I swam in high school, so there was a lot of parallels. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll cosplay him. So I did, and shirtless dudes abound.
Hooray for shirtless dudes. It seemed weird to me that that would be like a really popular cosplay group because it's essentially, you know, four or five dudes getting together and just putting on bathing suits and being shirtless, essentially. And
Yeah,
people are totally fine with that. It's like, oh yeah, this is a really good cosplay, but it's a really good cosplay that you can only do at like warm weather conventions.
yeah. I'm glad that I did Nagisa at summer conventions because even during the summer, sometimes it was cold.
Yeah, there are a lot of times where, especially like in a convention hall, it'll be colder than you think it will be. Like
Yeah.
like at Youmacons, like let me, roll up my sleeve, show off my tattoos because I've got my two tattoos I've got on my shoulders. Like, let me show them off, and we'll go outside because we have to go between, the hotel and the rent center, and I'm gonna put a jacket on.
Kobo and the
I'm gonna put this
yeah.
jacket on. It is very cold out here. But
See, I was lucky that I wore Levi at Youmacon because it was like I had my like cloak and my jacket and everything was like pretty warm.
yeah, and for anybody who wants to check out your cosplay, where can they find that kind of stuff?
Um, I have a cosplay page. Um, I don't know the exact link to it, so
We'll find it later, and we will
yeah,
link.
you'll find it. You can link it in the 91.8 the fan page. Everything you want and some things you don't,
No,
like
no,
my cosplay
no,
page.
nothing you don't. We like your
Okay,
cosplay.
okay, if you say so. Um, yeah, it'll be on the Facebook link when it's up.
And now, as far
Um,
as the future for Attack on Titan Abridged, like when we were talking to Taka, obviously since you are a full-time university student, it'll take, quite a bit longer than an episode of like Hellsing or DBZ.
I wouldn't say it takes longer than Helsing.
Well,
um,
that's
a
true.
lot of people were wondering, yeah, like it. Taka said this in his interview. Like to be fair, like yeah, it's kind of fair to say, more fair to say, when's the next episode because they don't know. Um, will it be yearly like Helsing? Will it be more consistent? Like it's, I can say for sure, it's not going to be like Dragon Ball Z abridged consistent.
Right.
Because we simply just don't have the time. Um, let's see. It's definitely going to be more than. Well, I say definitely isn't hopefully. I mean, I'm aiming for more than one a year.
Yeah.
Probably two. Hopefully, maybe three a year. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I don't know. The way if I had it my way, what I would aim for is if they're going to keep Helsing as a yearly thing, Helsing once a year, DBZ consistently, and have Attack on Titan like bi-yearly, like twice a year,
Yeah, every
maybe.
6 months or so. That's definitely a decent goal to strive for, and yeah, at that point you can sort of uh, maybe the dub will be out by that point, and you can sort of have a script
Probably, yeah.
writing. Uh, it might make the script writing easier because you can base stuff off of the dub and just stuff.
Well, I don't know. Well,
Huh,
we'll see what happens.
it,
We'll see what the dub pulls out.
it all depends on the dub kind of thing, but maybe it'll give you the chance to you know pull something from there as opposed to you wouldn't have any idea. You're just kind of writing
Yeah,
blind. It might help out because like we said, you've already got the voices knocked out for the characters so far, and you did introduce a lot of the characters. Basically, um,
we introduced pretty much all of them except for like a couple.
yeah, all of them except for
We
this.
glossed the only people we glossed over in like those episodes we covered were like Ymir and Krista because
Yeah,
they are not relevant at all in the beginning.
yeah, and then of course there's the whole Levi squad that comes in, so they'll get
That's gonna be later. Yeah,
yeah. But it's just you've got almost all the voices hammered out, so you won't be pulling any sort of like voice jokes off the dub, but it'll be interesting to see.
probably not. But there are still voice jokes that come out in like there's Armin.
Yeah, Armin is a thing.
Yeah, and yeah, I love Taka for doing that. Like, oh god, every scripting session where we had Armin, it was a blast.
It's a lot of fun. And it I can't tell if it makes me like the character of Armin more or less as a whole.
It
Um,
it it takes a different direction. I don't think you should think of actual Armin and an abridged Armin as the same character at all.
that's true, but
They
it's
just share the same face and voice, same face and name, and their voice is just and their character is just completely different.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like this Armin, I don't hate it, and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. It's that moment where you think it is like, I don't hate this, and I guess that's okay.
Yeah. So that was one thing I was going for when I was voicing Aaron. Was like I hope people don't hate this.
No, I liked Aaron.
And
Aaron was good,
yeah,
and honestly, I couldn't pick out a single thing about the voicing that I didn't like. It was all
thank
really
you.
good and really consistent and very well directed and edited and everything. I really like it.
Thank you. But there's so many comments that say Aaron sounds like Todd Havercorn, or Aaron sounds like Johnny Young Bosch, or Aaron sounds like, oh, apparently my voice is the love child of Johnny Young Bosch and Todd Havercorn. But to be fair, for my young Aaron voice, which I hopefully will never have to do again in this show, would probably have to do a couple times, but for my young Aaron voice, you might be able to tell, you might not, but I was pretty much just intentionally going for a Todd Havercorn voice.
It happens, you know. Sometimes you just have to find that voice in the
Well, I
back of
mean,
your head, and sometimes that
the
voice is Todd Habercorn.
well, yeah, the direction, like Taka actually directed me, like when I was voicing, and when I was doing young Aaron, I was like, whenever I dropped out of the young range, like, Taco would just be like, more Todd, I need more Todd. I'm like, okay, that was the direction he gave me.
Give me more corn, more corn. We need it
More
to be a
corny.
little
He wants to
corny.
be more corny. Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd.
I'm not
But
sorry, Todd.
yeah, sorry, not sorry. But for Aaron, actually, the direction he gave me was, I need more anime. It needs to sound more anime. I'm just like, oh, all right. That's
That
how
makes
it
sense.
goes.
I can definitely see where it's coming from with that, and uh, it definitely worked. Everything worked out, I think.
Thank you, thank you.
And now I know it's tough to decide until you guys actually like go through the whole scripting process for episode 2. But do you think you want to keep a consistent like episode length? Like it was pretty spot on 20 minutes. Are you looking to
Yeah,
keep that up?
I'm surprised it landed on like 20 minutes exactly. I predicted it would probably be around that long. For episode 2, it might not be as long, simply because there's not nearly as much content to go through.
Right.
Because what we're covering in episode 2 is mainly just the invasion of Trost, like a good chunk of it,
Mhm.
and a lot of that is just people flying over buildings and talking. So, it'll depend, because we have a lot more freedom to do with what we're given, but we also have like less, like, just straight up content to go through.
Yeah, because
So we'll see what happens.
it has almost sort of a Naruto syndrome where it's like jumping through trees,
Jumping through trees and
jumping
maybe a
through
fight.
trees. Here's a fight, and then more jumping through trees. Come back to the fight. It's like, okay, who won the fight? All right, jumping through trees. But I definitely am looking forward to seeing it in the future. You know, hopefully you get some free time. I don't know.
Hopefully soon.
I don't know exactly like how university schedules go. You said
Well, video game school schedule is very packed. So
yeah. Since I've never actually gone to any school past high school, I only know like high school test schedule, and I think next week is like high school midterms, and then they do the finals in June. But I know that all the college universities, they're completely different. They have it set at different times. So
yeah.
hopefully, video game school isn't too rough on you. You get the chance to work on some stuff. Not that I'm saying, work on the next episode because I need to see the next episode. It's like,
Well, I mean, I'm still motivated to, yeah. But I'll do what I can. I'll do my best.
yeah, it's as long as it's good, I don't care when it comes out. That's my main thing. I know.
Whoa, it has to be good. Hang on a second. Whoa, that's a whole new level. It has to be good. Oh,
But
I'm only kidding. Of course. I'll try my best to make sure.
I know you guys do with a lot of like ravenous. Like, I need the new episode right now after I finish the first one. I need it. Why didn't you have 2 episodes ready? Come on.
To be fair, we could have made it 2. We could have just cut it in half and made it 2 10-minute episodes, but we didn't.
It's true.
So
It very easily could have been.
For sake of pacing, yeah.
Yeah, but There, I know you guys get a lot of the fans who are like, "I need the new episode now. I need the new episode now." You're doing
Well,
all
I
this.
don't hear it nearly as much as like Kaiser or Taka.
Yeah, but
Big.
it's just one of those things where, like, you know, if you do anything other than making the new episode, you're instantly a lazy slacker who needs to be working on the new episode. Why aren't you doing it? But
I need to make my video game videos, man.
ah,
But my Let's Play is on TFS Gaming.
yeah.
I don't have any, but you can watch other people that are funnier than me do it.
Maybe you could do some of the video games that you're making on TFS Gaming. It's like, here's TehExorcist, his game.
It would be cool if I could play student games, but I don't think I'm allowed to due to my school's owning the stuff we make.
Yeah. It would definitely be a cool thing if you could do it, but there's always the fine print in the school contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now, for any of the fans who are looking to keep up to date with, any sort of Titan news or a new cosplay that you come up with for the summer, where can they keep up to date with that kind of stuff?
You can find me on Twitter, and that's about it.
Yay!
I have my own personal Facebook that I keep for like people I know. But if you want to just follow me on Twitter, like I post on there pretty frequently, and I pretty much just say whatever. So yeah, Twitter at TehExorcist. It's just The Exorcist, like the movie, but the is spelled wrong.
Yeah, because that was cool to do back in 2006.
Yeah, I hate my username, man.
Yeah, you think your username is not that bad. It's like, I was talking to Taka, it's like, Taka. Taka's
perspective, but
at least you don't have the issue of every time you go into like a new community, it's like, oh look, it's Christmas.
Jesus Christ, it's Christmas.
Let's make all the Christmas puns. He's surely never heard every single one of them before. Hey, it's June. It's not time for Christmas. And you go, really? You don't say.
Put the Nicolas Cage image up.
Good thing you told me. I never would have known if it weren't for you. It's like I wear, my hat is just completely covered in a bunch of random buttons, and I'll wear it out in public, and people say, your button has a lot of hats on. It's like, really? Well, thank God you told me. I never would have known. I would have taken this hat off, and where'd they all come from? Somebody has placed these on my hat without my knowledge.
Just a guy with a pin gun shooting pins on you.
That would be pretty cool if it, didn't actually.
I don't think that'd be allowed at conventions or anywhere. But
yeah, if it didn't like cause any bodily harm, which it almost definitely would, it might be kind of okay. But you never know.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder why I've never seen anybody with like a T-shirt gun at a convention, like during opening ceremony. It's like, here's the Yomicon T-shirt.
Well, I mean, money.
Yeah, money.
I mean, well, Riot did have a T-shirt gun at PAX, but I don't know if PAX counts because that's just like the biggest thing ever. So
yeah, I'm always curious about how video game conventions are, because when I go to a convention, I'm always about like the industry stuff and the voice actor stuff. And if I went to a video game convention, it would just be, I feel like it would just be waiting in line to play a new game that's not out yet. Or
well, that was a lot of same for me. Like before, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go see voice actors and go to panels. But I don't know, nowadays I go to conventions I attend them either two ways. I attend them as like a cosplayer. I don't really go to panels anymore because a lot of the voice actors I've seen before. And some of them I just know. And yeah, so I just mainly do cosplay with my friends, or I go to a convention like Yomicon where I just do panels and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I just don't feel like I'm in the sort of position where I would want to go to a gaming convention yet, just because I don't do any sort of cosplay, and I feel like there wouldn't be anything that would interest me while I'm there.
Well, cosplay is not actually like that huge at places like PAX, because like at regular like anime conventions, the ratio for I think that the ratio for like cosplayer to like regular attendee would be like, I don't know, like 70-30.
Yeah.
Roughly. But I don't know, there's probably only like, it's probably flipped actually. It's probably like 30-40, not even 40% of the people are cosplaying.
Yeah, I know. I know
And yeah,
cosplay.
and but you do get a lot of free stuff.
Free stuff is always good.
Free stuff.
I think the most free stuff
Uh,
I've ever gotten. Sometimes you get some buttons, and Anime Boston and a couple surrounding conventions. There's a guy who goes dressed up as a giant box of Pocky, and he'll give out Pocky to people. So that's always good. Make sure you eat at conventions. It's very important.
that is important unless you're wearing a corset and you can't eat.
Well, there is always that. But
That's yeah, that sucks.
but before we reach the end of our time together, sad as it may be, I was wondering if you would like to participate in the 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Of course, I know this thing.
Yay! We just ask you to do the radio bump. It's very simple. You say, "Hello, my name is." You insert your name. I do this. You can say that you do Attack on Titan Abridged. You make video games at school. You're a cosplayer, whatever you want to put there. It's up to you. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay, we do it live on the air so they can hear me mess up.
Exactly. That's half the fun.
Uh,
Whenever you're good, we can go for take one.
all right, here we go. Hi, this is TehExorcist, and I voice Aaron from. Oh wait, no, that's not. I was gonna say 91.8 The Fan.
Aaron,
That's
now
not what
on
I do.
91.8 The Fan.
Yeah, Attack on Titan is now done by 91.8 The Fan. All right, anyways, take two. Hi, this is TehExorcist. I voice Aaron from Team 4 Star's Attack on Titan Abridged, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Very good. See, only took 2 takes.
Yay!
That's better than some.
I can do voice things.
It's
but not as good as most.
We've had a lot of people where it takes them like 3 or 4 times and they still can't even get the numbers right. But you got the numbers right, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Hooray
Numbers.
for math!
I'm good at math, I think.
I would hope so. You're in video game school. I think that automatically makes you better at math than I am.
You'd be surprised.
But do you have any final words of wisdom for the fans out there before we head off the air?
Keep watching, keep supporting. We do the best we can. And yeah, enjoy, follow Team 4 Star and Attack on Titan Abridged if you enjoy it.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then you can suck it. I think is
Those
that,
are his words.
is that the overall message? That's what I'll go with. The suck
That's
it
what
is
you'll
not
go with.
the suck it part of this endorsement is not endorsed by Team 4 Star.
What he said.
Exactly. But thank you very much, TehExorcist, for taking the time
Thank
to
you.
come and chat with us. I know that as a video game school student, you are quite busy, but it's nice that you found time in your schedule to chat with us about stuff.
Try interviewing Gan Xingba. He's video game school too.
Yeah, Yan Shengba is one of the few people that I don't think we've ever talked to from Team 4 Star.
I beat him. All right.
You beat Gan Xingba. Congratulations. But for anybody out there who missed any part of this interview, shame on you. It'll be up on the website in the next couple days. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan because we've got everything you want and nothing you don't.